I'm really tired of the current thing. The current thing is whatever the media has decided is the story of the day, and not just the day, could be the week. I mean, for example, in the last couple of days, it's been Islamophobia in the Conservative Party. Prior to that, it's been, say, Ukraine. And this obsession over this kind of media nexus and political nexus of whatever the floating object is on everyone's timelines is genuinely getting people killed. And so I just want to tell me, look, whatever the current thing is in your timeline, it's not worth your life, right? It will literally be gone in a year's time and you'll have forgotten about it. And everyone will have forgotten any sacrifices you made for it, right? So, I mean, does anyone remember the Reddit battalion that went out to Ukraine? Sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to let you know that we have a brand new selection of merch on our merch store. These won't be in the store forever, so if you do want them, go and get them now. Thanks very much. No, exactly, right? Exactly. No one remembers. So there was a subreddit called Volunteers for Ukraine with 45,000 subscribers on it, and they were training people. Within weeks, they'd trained hundreds of civilians. This is only 2 years ago.
You see, we're actually told who we're supposed to fight for, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're just told.
It's literally this sort of media programming.
And most people don't. Most people are educated by a 60-second TikTok video.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, I'm on that side then.
Yeah. And this is all downstream from some like New York Times reporter or something like that. And they're going to be downstream from probably the CIA or the FBI. And so it's just like, so actually, when you are playing into the current thing, you're playing into the imperial regime of one country or another. But anyway, they trained hundreds of people to go out to Reddit, the war zone in Ukraine, to go to Reddit, from Reddit. And a bunch of these people were killed.
Oh, they died?
Yeah, they died.
Surprise.
The Ukraine's Foreign Legion did not see significant attention until March 13th, 2022, when Russia fired multiple missiles at a Ukrainian military facility where some foreign soldiers were undergoing training, reportedly killing 35 people and injuring 134. They got 1,000 upvotes on Reddit.
That's sad.
If that helps. It's tragic,
Well,
right?
you see these people that were training, were they already army trained? Or
Some were,
just
some weren't.
Right. Okay.
So let's take the example of Dane Partridge, a former army infantryman who felt spiritually called to volunteer in the Ukrainian military.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why?
What spirit?
5 years ago,
Yeah,
did you feel...
what spirit was that?
But just 5 years ago, did you feel spiritually called to serve in Ukraine? You'd never even heard of Ukraine. It was only until the media put it right in front of your face. Yeah, and it was non-stop. Like, I bet the average American has no... Or 3 years ago...
point to it on a map.
Exactly. Suddenly he's spiritually called. So, no, you've been programmed by the media, right? But this is genuinely tragic because he goes and volunteers. He gets a one-way ticket to Poland, goes over there, gets killed. He leaves behind 5 young children. That is just awful, isn't it? And of course, his widow doesn't want to talk about that because she's like, well, we're still living and we're affected by this.
So this is what he said.
This is what his widow said. We just want to focus on the good that he did, not mention any personal things. So yeah, I bet.
No, but this is what he said to his family. Guys,
I'm spiritually called to go serve.
Spiritually called.
Sorry, but
I know you guys got to go to school tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been spiritually called to, there's no more school run for me. I'm going to go and fight.
Yeah. For a country you've never heard of.
Where are you going? I'm off.
Can we add this to the Darwin Awards? You know what the Darwin Awards are?
No, I don't know what the Darwin Awards are.
So they're a Darwin Award. It's for taking yourself out of the gene pool, for doing something so stupid and getting yourself killed. I'm sorry.
He's got 5 kids. He's not out of the gene pool.
Oh, God. Because that's the... if he was Ukrainian, if he cared about the Donbass war or something, he didn't. Yep. He literally just saw it on TV and thought, there we are, I'm going to throw my life away.
Dane Partridge is the most Anglo name. Partridge is a surname. That's an English surname. Like, he's not from Ukraine. He's not like a Slavic immigrant. You know, he's obviously just a regular American, and he's been bewitched by the current thing. They've dangled this in front of his face, and he's like, I need to abandon my family and save Ukrainians. And now he's dead, and his family are doubtless struggling. And it's like, this is awful.
That's crazy.
And so this is the context in which, of course, Aaron Bushnell, again, another just sort of Anglo name, just a normal Anglo name. These aren't people who have any, like, he's got no connection to Palestine when he burned himself to death, yelling "Free Palestine" outside of the Israeli embassy. he was bewitched by the current thing online. And in fact, it's actually kind of crazy. Of course, I'm not going to show any of it because of getting trouble, but basically his last words were, "I will no longer be complicit in a genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all." And then he yells, "Free Palestine," and burns himself.
But what is not being spoken about here is I think there's a huge rise in mental health in the nation, nations. And I think it plays into these types of things. I think
Absolutely.
people aren't diagnosed with certain mental health conditions, which is why they're probably easily led to believe certain things and easily led to act in certain ways. So
this guy
could have been a crazy guy.
And he's a lot more of a candidate for it than the previous chap.
Yeah.
Because this guy was 25 years old. It's
had his whole life ahead of him.
Exactly. Had his whole life ahead of him.
Affected nothing.
He didn't have a wife and children, although there are claims that he did. I looked into it. He doesn't, as far as I can tell. But we can find out something about him. So he grew up on a religious compound in Massachusetts called the Community of Jesus. So it's a heavily religious background that he has, sort of evangelical Protestant background. His family left in 2005. And by 2024, he had not only come out of the religion, but he had found himself online and become essentially an Antifa activist, a radical communist.
Oh, Antifa.
So he had spent all of his time on Reddit becoming increasingly indoctrinated into just an extremist ideology. He grew disillusioned with the military, of course, because this happened after he was in the military. So he radicalized while he was a member of the Air Force.
Okay, that's interesting.
But was intending on sticking out his tenure in there just because he was closer to the end and he thought, screw it, I'll just get to the end. But in the wake of George Floyd's killing by the police, one of his friends says that he started to research the history of the United States and wanted to take a stand against all the state-sanctioned violence. So when George Floyd was the current thing, this put him on the trajectory to burning himself to death outside the Israeli embassy.
You see, it might be mental health.
It probably is in his case, but it's also just utterly tragic. Like this guy's mum and dad, got a call one day. I'm assuming they didn't see it on the news, and someone said, "Oh, your son's died." And, "Oh my God, what happened?" Well, he spent a lot of time on Reddit and became a communist, and he killed himself for Palestine.
It sounds funny and it sounds, tongue in cheek, but they shut down mental asylums.
Yes.
And so the mad people have got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And America is mental.
Yeah, they've got to get into something. And I think a lot of people that...
Yeah, it didn't reduce the number of mental people.
It didn't.
It just left them in the general population. Yeah. No, and in this guy's case, it's a much stronger argument than the previous guy. Like, 6 he's 5 kids, a family man. This guy's obviously... But yeah, so, there's just loads of it. He's just, loads and loads of it, where he's just incredibly left-wing. I guess that's not coming up for some reason. But Andy No has been just compiling, because his Reddit history is still up. And so...
Didn't he say that Palestine will only be free when all the Jews are dead?
No, that's a fake.
Fake post?
Yeah, okay. That's why I haven't included it. I was going to mention it, but thank you for bringing that up. But it's...
Fake news.
No. Try to be accurate.
Yeah.
But he's not sympathetic to the deaths of his fellow soldiers. And just constant posting about anarchism, communism.
This is his page.
Yeah, he's Ace Bush 1. And, obviously...
hello, bread tubers.
Yeah, various bread tubers who radicalized him, calling Republicans fascists, obviously, and just various other things. So
I'm really kind of glad, because you're right so much on the mentally ill aspect, I think. And I remember back before Elon brought Twitter, this kind of left-wing mental illness was promoted by the platform.
Yeah.
And occasionally now I'll see, it still happens, where there's some leftist mentally ill person on there who'll just be like, right, I've had it. This place has become a cesspool. I'm leaving. I'm going off Twitter. And I just think that is so good.
And they're back next week.
Yeah.
Most of the time they come back.
Yeah, they will, yeah.
But there will be an attrition rate of them. And the more and more that attrition rate takes place, that's actually good news for all of humanity.
Yeah.
Getting those people out of an atmosphere where they're just doing this kind of stuff is only good. Because they're only going to end up doing mental things like this.
If only Reddit was also toxic towards left-wing ideology. Anyway, so, there's a bunch of things where he's just genuinely, awful. he seems to have just spent his entire life, like after work, just obsessed with left-wing politics on Reddit, right? And he had some interesting takes. That one's fake, but this one is true. So, obviously, he's not a fan of American imperialism. He thought the October 7th attack was justified. In fact, have I got that here? I think it's this one. So yes, when Hamas attacked Israel, killed however many civilians, he was like, well, actually, it's kind of justified because Israel is a settler, colonialist, apartheid state. And none of them are civilians, and therefore they're all war targets. Just average leftist opinion on this. Not a fan of the Ukrainian war and the American empire. He believes that Ukrainian war is about America competing with Russia.
He's a walking hashtag.
He is a walking hashtag. He's just an NPC for all of this stuff. And so he's been partially deified, should we say. There are, of course, people on the left who say, well, actually, I still hate him because he's white.
There was a lot of that, I saw.
There was a lot of that. There were a lot of leftists who said, well, he's a white man and therefore he doesn't deserve the term rest in power, which is...
Where was that said?
Oh, all over Twitter. Loads of left-wing activists who are not white said, I don't like him even though he's white. Which I just think is grim.
But that's so normal as well. Like, you chose that community.
Yeah.
Like, Antifa types have always been like that.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but he also said he specified in his will that his savings should go to a Palestinian children's relief fund, which I'm sure will reach Palestinian children. So just tragic, really. So just to be really, really clear, right? Just the current thing will come and go. It's going to just be in your face, and it's going to disappear. And this guy's self-immolating, right? It's not even the most remarkable story of this year. That's the thing. Like, it's not made any impact outside of America, really. It's not in the British media.
No, I haven't heard about it over here.
Exactly, right?
So this is the bit about, because I really like the current thing meme.
Yeah.
And then some people use it in a way that I find irritating at times. But this is such a good example, these two, because I'm thinking back to take Osama bin Laden, right? All right, back before he did the Al-Qaeda stuff. Right. He went and fought in Afghanistan because he was obsessed with Palestine and his fellow Muslims then being oppressed. And then when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, he wanted to support the Muslim cause by kicking out the atheist Soviets. At least there's an obvious connection between Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan, the Islamic part. There's a way in which you could get involved that spiritually calls you and makes sense.
Yeah.
But that guy in Ukraine is just like, well, reasons? I mean, there's nothing. There is literally zero that draws him here other than the media.
I have to defend these Christians against other Christians.
People fail to realize how powerful these things are.
Yeah. That's exactly what this is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Because both of these guys obviously radicalized by social media and what they're seeing on their phones.
Yeah.
Obvious. I mean, this guy in particular.
But if he was Egyptian, you'd be like, well, fair enough.
It would at least make sense.
But that's why I talked about mental health before, and the power of this. Those two mixed together.
Yeah,
that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and but the tragedy of chasing the current thing is that this guy in a week, no one will remember him.
Right.
No one will remember the name of Aaron Bushnell. Like no one, like no one remembers Dane Partridge. Right? They don't care. It's not important. You're not part of the story, and you're trying to make yourself part of the story. But the story isn't really a story. It's a distraction.
It's a flash.
Yeah, that's being put in front of your face to distract from other things. And so they don't care. You're not going to be memorialized. There's going to be no statue to these guys. You know, this wasn't like World War I or World War II, and yet they're trying to capture the same energy to draw people to the cause. But it's not the same. You know, there's nothing lasting about any of this. And so it's just a genuine tragedy that's happened in each of these cases. Like, I saw loads of people like memeing on it. Oh, he's a communist. Well, therefore we're post-communist. Therefore we can just dunk on him. It's like, no, dude, I'm looking at that thing. If that was my son, I'd be heartbroken. You know, I just think it's so sad to watch. And so like, I haven't been able to post any memes about it or anything like that. I've just been like, oh, God, it's awful.
But if you do, you'll keep his name alive.
Well, there is that, but like, it's just really sad and pathetic, and the people in charge don't care. Like, none of the people at the media, they don't care. You know, this is the best he's going to get, and this will be forgotten forever. It's like, right, just tragic. I guess we'll leave that there.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on Edward II. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.